Hey all, welcome back to another Yu-Gi-Oh! Duel Links video, and today, the Paradox Brothers have been released once again, and this is an awesome opportunity for everyone who does not have 3 Dimension Gates to get them. Dimension Gates are awesome cards used for farming using the Labyrinth Builder ability, and they're also really competitive with an enemy controller combo. Not as much anymore, but it's still very valuable. But the most important thing is that everybody now has access to unlock the Paradox Brother who has started to play the game at this point. And the Paradox Brothers, as we all know, is one of the greatest farming characters there is. Most notably with their ability Elements Unite and Labyrinth Builder. So, this is a great event to bring back for everyone. I stand behind that these rewards are pretty lousy besides the Dimension Gates, gotta be honest here. But I'm looking for the gems, I'm looking for the gold, I'm looking for the dual orbs, and I'm looking just to get my characters a little bit higher level, thanks to this being also overlapping with the 1.5 times experience event. I'm mostly just going to be playing this a little bit less seriously and just make sure I get my 3rd dimension gate. But we've already seen this event before. I will link the video I did on the first event of this in the description below, and that'll actually hold my non-union attack version of how to farm the Paradox Brothers, because this build does use union attack. So I will have a video tutorial up on both. So why don't we jump into the event page and we'll just quickly show off some of the new cards that have gotten released here. So as you can see, I've been farming just a tiny bit just to make sure the deck is set and good and ready to go. There's nothing too special here, just gold, gems. You do get another Archfiend Field spell, so that's pretty good. Now you can have 2 of them. And the top prize for the icon is not there for me because I've already gotten it, so it's an ultra rare orb. So I'm going to go over to the event details page as well now. So just some of the new cards that we can see here. We got Destruct Potion. So this is a powerful card, and it lets you select one monster you control, destroy it, and gain life points equal to its attack. So this can be combined with enemy controller to fairly successfully get rid of one of your opponent's monsters and gain some life points for it. This is great for a couple of decks I can think of, mostly just to keep your life points high and some little dirty combos, and maybe for some farming stuff. Next up, we got Summon Gate. So this is a new card as well. Each player can special summon a maximum of 3 monsters from the extra deck each turn. That really doesn't matter in this format. Now, does it at all? No, it does not. It's a pretty garbage card right now, for sure. If you can find somebody who summons more than 3 monsters from the extra deck in a single turn, I'd be impressed. And then last we have Heroic Gift. So if your opponent's life points are 2,000 or less, make their life points 8,000, and if you do, draw 2 cards. So this is not a terrible card all around. It does get you draw 2 cards, but it's really a one-off. And the only reason you really want to play this is if you were trying to find something really quickly, and maybe in a farm deck this can be slightly okay, because you're going to be dealing 10,000 damage, and getting them up to 8,000 really doesn't matter. But again, you have to get them below 2,000 initially to do that, so I don't really see a practical use for it right now. It's not complete garbage, but it's definitely not good, especially right now. And then the EX jewels have been added for this event, and you can get the rare Dimension Gate, the most valuable card from this entire event, for only 100 EX jewels. So you should be able to get 3 from this event, no problem. You can activate this card by targeting one monster you control, banish that target face up. When an opponent monster declares a direct attack, you can send this face up card on your field to the graveyard. If this card is sent to the graveyard, you can special summon the monster banished by this card's effect. So that's awesome to combine with your Labyrinth Wall and a whole bunch of awesome plays. Alright, so we've jabbered on about this event long enough. Why don't we check out the deck used for farming the Paradox Brothers. Alright, so once again I went on to my most reliable source, Game A. I just find that they have the most up-to-date information and the quickest to get updated information. So I hopped on this morning and I found a deck that I could easily build and was quite happy with, and it's the Unhappy Girl deck once again, because we can obviously not use the Paradox Brothers themselves to farm the Paradox Brothers. So this is just Taya's Holy Guard ability. Taya with Holy Guard means you do not take any battle damage during your turn. So use the Unhappy Girl to attack your opponent's monster. Unhappy Girl is not destroyed by a result of battle, and any monster it battles cannot change its battle position nor attack while this card is face up in attack position on the field. So you want to see this card as quickly as possible, and for that reason we use 3 Raimis, and this card is just a search for your Unhappy Girl when it's destroyed by battle. Also, I have 2 Crystal Seers, and this is here just to make sure that cards don't end up at the bottom of my deck that I need for the very last turn, like my spell Reclamation or anything that requires a turn to be set or to be summoned a turn prior. So you just want to be able to tribute someone one monster that won't die. So I chose Trance the Magic Swordsman, a very obtainable card, as it's found in the structure deck. It's 2600, so most of the Paradox Brothers cards cannot overcome this, except for the one with 2600. Plus, you have Windstorm in this deck to just prevent any one-turn destruction that may arise for some reason. You can replace this with anything you want, but I highly recommend Trance, as its 2600 attack is very valuable in this sense. And I chose, instead of draw power, the Pot of Benevolence. So this just allows you to shuffle 2 cards from any graveyard back into the deck. You want to use this on the Paradox Brothers just to make sure they don't deck out before you do. And this is also the card that Game A recommended using. And then with this deck, because we don't really want to bring out a fusion monster, that's a little bit old-fashioned. We want to bring out a ritual monster because the Paradox Brothers are almost guaranteed, I would say are 100% guaranteed if you're doing a successful farm, to have one of their tribute summon monsters out. So you can suck that up with your Relinquished, and then when Union Attack is utilized, Relinquished will have at least 2400 attack, and that'll result in your Vassal, which inflicts effect damage instead of battle damage, to gain enough attack to be over 10,000 and getting you the 3,000 dual reward points. And of course, Union Attack, the most valuable farming card there is, adds up all the attack of the monsters you currently control, and then only the selected monster can attack, but it gains the attack of all those monsters. You want to make sure that you use that twice, so we use Spell Reclamation, discard 1 card, and chain this card to a spell card you activated. Whenever the spell card goes to the graveyard, return it to the hand instead. And before all that happens, just make sure you use Secret Pass to the Treasures. This allows you to select your Vassal and make it be able to attack directly this turn, because it is below 1000 attack before the battle phase begins. And then just to make sure this farm will not fail, at least reduce the risk of that, we tossed in 3 Enchanted Javelins, and this is just to make sure that if you don't draw your Unhappy Girls right away, you might be able to survive a little bit longer, and if your opponent somehow was able to summon out 2 strong monsters that could possibly do lethal damage to you while you only have 1 Unhappy Girl out, that you can use Enchanted Javelin to gain some of those attack points and prevent a lethal kill of that turn. So the Paradox Brothers are very easy to farm, I gotta say. They don't have any tricky cards to look out for, they don't have any back row at all that you need to worry about. Besides Battle Mania, if you're trying to do a stall tactic with a defense position monster. But other than that, almost every farming style should work for this. I know there's a Blue Eyes build that requires Blue Eyes to be on the field because Blue Eyes is stronger than all the Paradox Brothers monsters, and that's just going to let you stall out until the final turn. You'll use your combo to win. So there's many options. I like this option the most. I think it's the most consistent for me, but you can also use the Blue Eyes deck. And I might make a video on that later, because it's a pretty good idea that you might be able to use with Joey and Joey's reinforcement ability to possibly be able to farm as well as get Last Gamble for some of you guys who still need to get Last Gamble. So that's enough discussing about the farm decks and the deck itself. Why don't we check out a replay so we can see a successful farm attempt. Alright, and there we have it. Wow, already got a super rare. Too bad it's a labyrinth wall, which I had like 8 of at one point, but that's okay. That'll just be a super rare orb to be converted in the future. Like I said at the beginning of this video, I think this is a fine event, but I'm not jumping through any hoops. I've already seen it, and I know what I need to get from it, and it's going to be pretty darn easy for me to get what I'm looking for out of this event. So hope you have a relaxed time farming the Paradox Brothers. Make sure you get them. They are very, very valuable characters to unlock. Hope you enjoyed watching. If you have any questions, comments, concerns, leave them down below and I'll answer them to the best of my ability as quickly as I can. Hope to catch you in the next one, and as always, peace.